many people have credited you, Giorgio, as one of their biggest influences. People like Angela Hartnett, for instance.
Yeah.
Who would you say has influenced you?
Obviously, there is like people like Marchesi was Gualtiero Marchesi was very, very important because he was guys that was there doing it when we were growing up, when I was 16, 18. So it was a great inspiration. But then again, I can't. It's like also the periods that I spent in Paris was very important. But I think that the most important influence, the greatest influence, is still my grandmother. I still think that because at the end of the day, recipes are all different.
Yeah.
But it's just the idea of how we deal with that.
Yeah.
And it's that moment and the simplicity and these things, and I must remind myself and try to remind my staff all the time.
Yeah.
But and yeah. I mean, when I worked at the Savoy as well, I think there's a lot I learned there on the organization skills and all these things. So, the profession of the chef, it just as it grows, it almost changes all the time.
Yeah.
There's different aspects that you sort of become a great chef, even if you can just only cook a few dishes. It's not, as long as there is the sincerity and that. And so that's why I think that my grandmother is still very important for me, because I feel that when I do something that is inspired by her and what she was doing or the ingredients and things like that, it is truthful. It comes from me, from my experience in life. Yeah.
I was listening to BBC food programme a while ago, and they were talking about their favourite gadgets. They were talking, and you were the only person who chose something that was not for the convenience of the chef, actually. It was for the convenience, the lobster. And that, I was really interested in that. And I wondered how important that is to you in your cooking. And especially perhaps given, we were talking about the dogs earlier, perhaps it's sort of Italian, not brutality, but less sentimental attitude to animals. Is it something it's become more important?
Obviously,
or
I've become very sentimental when I went to England, because as they say, in France they always say that anything, then if you can do anything, then goes in 2 legs, they will let you go. But if you touch anything in England, if you touch anything you've got 4 legs, they're going to put you in prison,
Yeah.
But I don't know. No, the lobster stanger was as we call it, the electric chair for the lobster in the kitchen. It was a gadget that really did struck me that not only it was much more human way to deal with that, and also there was a quality attached to that. So the lobster actually was better.
Tastes better.
And I had experience. I always try to. I went to butcher animals. I had all this sort of like kind of cruel and a little bit violent hack that we have to do when we eat food.
Yeah.
Which I do kind of agree that we have to eat them and so, but to use everything that you have at your disposal to make it easier for the animal is a very important thing to me.
So I was going to say, if you were to give one piece of advice to the home cook, what would it be?
Keep it simple.
Simple.
Keep it simple and keep it. I feel that dishes are they have a life by themselves, and there is emotion attached to them. So when somebody comes to eat in your house, he hasn't come to eat the recipe that he has in this restaurant or cooked by that chef. He wants something that's cooked by you, that you feel attached emotionally to that dish. And so that's very important. If you cook one thing all the time, as long as you keep with emotion attached to that will be perfect. So, really, technicality are very important. Obviously, I live on it, and I made my living out of technical bits about food. But I still think that the emotion are more important than that. And so at home it's very important that you give a bit of yourself into each of the dishes. And a dish becomes yours as soon as you cook it once or twice. That's your dish. There's no copyright. I don't own any recipe. Even if I write recipe or write books, but I don't own any of them. So everybody owns the recipe that he cooks. And this is a very important thing. And attachment. And obviously as well, if you have to cook for a part, if you cook on a daily basis is one thing. When you cook for a party, people tend to be want to impress you, and that usually fell down when people try to just, to come to your house, to welcome somebody into your house. It's a big thing.
Yeah.
It's not like, I just go for dinner. When somebody invites me to their house to eat, I am honored about it. It's one piece of their life that they give to me. So don't worry about making it too complicated. No, just keep it simple. It's so very important.
And what keeps you inspired in the kitchen? I mean, obviously you've been cooking since you were on that little crate, stirring risotto in the kitchen.
I think it's the ingredients.
Yeah.
Then, the change of the season, the ingredients. It's really like, and my wife goes like, every year, how can you get excited about truffle? It's kind of, it's like, come on, man. It's incredible, But, I do get excited about that. I do get excited about seeing fresh things. I do get excited. And lately, I carve myself a little bit, because I worked very hard for so many years. I didn't have time to do anything.
Yeah.
So, my wife says, why don't you have an hobby? I said, well, because, I don't have time to have an hobby. A little bit more time, I spend more time in Sicily with people that works the land. That gives me great inspiration. Great inspiration. And keeps me going. And then, I love my boys. I love the team and everybody. Those, I almost feel them. It's like, why do you get up every morning at 7 and get in at 8 o'clock when you can just walk in the kitchen at 12? Why? Yeah. Because, how am I going to ask them to be in at 8 if I come in at 12? Yeah. So there is this dude and, they work very hard for you. You've got to show that you work hard for them. Yeah. Obviously, it's in different levels. Sometimes I'm sitting more in my office doing things. Yeah. They are sweating it out. But, they can see that I'm very bad of... I lead by example. Yeah. That's the way I learned it. Yeah. I haven't got these great management skills. No. And I'm very personal with people. Yeah. So that's very important. And that, this is a big challenge here. Yeah. Because, I'm here less time. Yeah. And, the people get to actually talk to me a bit less. It's so funny because the waiters goes, can we talk to him? What you mean? You serving my food, you have to talk to me. It's so important, that you have an attachment to me or to what we're doing. And this to me is the most important thing. When I'm sure that other chefs obviously works in different ways. Yeah. Right.
Well, thank you very much. That's been an absolute pleasure.